guys, today we are going to be trying out a completely new brand and I am actually really excited about this. And when you guys see the palette that we're going to test out today, you're all going to be like, Annette, why did you buy that? This color story is like so not what anybody would probably expect me to buy, but we're going to be trying out a new brand. Like I said, this is their first release. They also have some lashes, but this is like the main product I would say on their site. This is from a brand called Our Darling, and this is the, I don't know what this palette is called because it doesn't have a name. I just realized that this palette doesn't have a name. It just has the brand logo on the front. I do wish that this palette was themed a little bit more, because when you see the inside and you see the shade names and like the history and the inspiration behind the brand, I kind of wish they did a little bit more with this palette. But I don't know, there was something about this palette when I first saw it that I was intrigued and I wanted to give the brand a chance. So here is what the palette inside looks like. Like I said, it's quite a neutral palette, but I feel like this is a neutral palette done right. This is a neutral palette that I can get on board with, and I think that this is pretty exciting. And I also think that I've seen some pictures of the owner of the brand on her Instagram, and she is very like gothy, and I really feel like whatever she comes out with is just going to be really cool. So it says under their kind of picture, it says it's a cosmetics line influenced by the Victorian era with an emphasis on mourning practices and the rituals they left behind. And there is something about like death and like witchy stuff and like the dark shit that, I don't know, I'm into it. I don't know how else to put it. I don't know. I'm interested in this palette and I'm excited to try it out. And the swatches actually looked really nice. That gold shade, holy crap. And like also this color story, funny, but this is such a tangent, but we're going to a hockey game today and our team, I live in Vegas, is the Golden Knights. And basically this color story is like the colors of the team. So I think that it's just perfect timing because they're very like black and gold and silver and red. And so it's basically what is in here, so it's gonna go very nicely. I'm going to change before the game though, because I need to wear something a little more, I don't know, warmer at least, because it's gonna be cold. So we're just gonna go ahead and try this because I want to do my makeup and I'm excited to test out this palette and I'm excited to try a new brand. So that's what we're gonna go ahead and do. So I'm just priming it with my Natasha Denona eyeshadow base and we'll see what I end up doing today. I haven't quite decided what I want to do, but I do like me some kind of grayish tones with the black, so maybe that's what I'll do with my crease. I also want to use the red though. I definitely want to use the red. That looked so beautiful. I don't think that is going to really pull to pink, which is usually the case with a lot of reds, because this one didn't seem to have like that undertone to it. So I'm very curious to see how this palette is going to perform. So here's kind of what I'm thinking. I think I want to do the red color in my crease, deepen it up with the black, do this sort of satiny, how would I explain this color? It's like a gunmetal, but a little bit darker maybe. It's like it's a satin grayish black. I think I want to do that underneath my eye, and then I definitely want to use the gold on my lid, but I think I want to do, maybe I want to do a cut crease today. I have cut crease, I haven't done that in so long, and I put a little bit of this red possibly in between where I have the black and the gold. Maybe that could be kind of fun. I don't know, let's kind of try to have that as a plan and see how it goes. So I'm gonna start with the red, which is called Dearly Departed. And I'm using my Rephr number 14, which might be a little bit too big for what I'm trying to do here, but we'll see. I really need to wash my brushes. I know so many people say that all the time and it's like, just go wash your brushes. But like, it's so tedious and it's so boring and I hate doing it. So I just keep delaying it. But I really need to do it and I'm just being lazy. But this is very nice and pigmented. I mean, that's really pretty. It does have a bit of like a berry undertone to it. It's definitely not like a red, but it's more of a, I don't even know, like a mysterious red. It's not really a red, is it? You can't really call this a red. Never mind, I take that back. It's more of a berry, but it's still a very pretty color. I do wish that it was a little bit more red though, but I've always said this, that sometimes my eyeshadow primer will just switch up the undertone of certain colors a little bit, because this eyeshadow primer does have a little bit of like a pink undertone to it, I feel like, so that definitely could have something to do with it. If I use something like the MAC Paint Pot in Soft Ochre, I think that this shade would definitely lean a lot more on the red side rather than on the pink side. So maybe I would try that next time, just in case I wanted more of a red look, but this is going on the eye very nicely. Really like the color of this. Just going to really blow this out and make sure it is nice and blended on the edges. Just gonna switch to my Rephr number 13 because I just need a smaller brush, and I'm gonna just go underneath my eye, but mostly just on the outer portion here because I do want to use that satiny shade on most of this, but I just want to make sure that when I go in with the black, I have something to blend the black into just to get a smoother transition. Okay, let's try the black. Same brush, I'm gonna go into In Morning, which is this black here, obviously. When I swatched it, it didn't seem like the most pigmented black, so we'll see how it performs on the eyes. So I'm gonna start packing it on quite heavily here. Yeah, it's very buildable, which is nice. You can definitely take it slow and not go as crazy as I am. Like, I'm really getting my brush into the pan and picking up a lot of product, and I'm also not tapping it off. So if you're scared of black, just go a little bit slower, but I like to just kind of not get it over with, but you know what I mean, like why take more time than you need to, you know? Just gonna take this about halfway in. I don't want to deepen up the very front portion of my lid. I don't think I just want all of the darkness to be mostly on the outer portion here. I'm just gonna take a little bit of that right on the outer corner as well. This is blending very nicely. I really like how this is looking. This is looking a little bit messy. Don't worry about that. We're gonna definitely make this come together. I'm just gonna take a little bit more of that first red shade and just make sure that it's blended into this black. Okay, I think this is it for now. I know I said I was going to do a half cut crease, but I feel like with that shimmer, I might not need it. Maybe what I'll do is I'll go in with a little bit of this one that I'm gonna use under my eye. Maybe I'll do a little bit of that in like the outer portion of my lid and then blend it into that gold. I think that is going to look really, really nice. So I'm gonna start with this one. I'm not going to spray it or anything. I'm going to use a dry brush here because this is, like I said, basically a satin shade. And I'm just gonna put that kind of over where I put down that black. And this is just going to help the blend between the gold and the black a little bit. It's actually a really, really cool color. It's going on the eye very nicely as well. Just making this into a bit of a diagonal here. Don't worry, I know it's looking a little bit messy. Totally my own fault. It's nothing to do with the shadows. I did not get my absolute best blend with this black. And again, like I said, just one of those days where it's not perfect, but that's okay. We're not trying to be perfect here. We're just trying to play with makeup, and I know it's all going to come together once I get some eyeliner, some mascara on and stuff like that. Yeah, this is a very interesting color. I think that's gonna go very nicely with that gold as well. So I'm gonna wipe off my brush here because I'm lazy. And I'm gonna take the gold on the same brush and I'm gonna spray this a little bit. I don't feel like looking for my glitter primer, so that's just what we're doing. And I have a hair on my brush that should not be there. So let's see, I'm gonna go ahead and just put this on the front portion here. And this is a beautiful shadow. Oh, I really like gold eyeshadow. I know I keep repeating myself and saying it all the time, but like, I really like gold eyeshadow, if you haven't already noticed. But I'm just gonna, oh, that is so pretty. I like that a lot. I'm just gonna fade that into the satiny shade here. Oh, the satin shade was called Beyond the Veil. I should probably say the names in this palette because they're like one of the best parts about it. This looks so cool. Yeah, this is totally like my hockey team colors as well, so this is gonna be perfect. I'm not really a sports person per se, but I really like going to live games. I think that it's just always a good time and the atmosphere is always really good, and you know, you get to drink a little bit and just walk around and people watch, and then the game is usually good as well, and it's just fun to get out, especially now that we're both fully vaccinated. Just being able to go out and do stuff again is just, it's a good time. Okay, so I think that's basically gonna be it for the top. I'm gonna take a small pencil brush here if I can find one. Gonna take my Rephr 03 and I'm gonna dip into the Beyond the Veil shade that I put on my lid here, and I'm just gonna run that underneath my eye. And then I'm gonna take a little bit more of that gold after and just put that around in my inner corner. I have to admit though, personal preference, but I wish that all the shimmers in this palette were this formula. I'm fine with the satin. I think that one kind of has its place because of how dark it is, but I really wish that this other shade down here, which is called Ritual, I kind of wish that that was the same formula as the gold. I love a metallic shimmer. I mean, this looks so good. Like, I really like this. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish off my eyes and my face, and I'll come back and I will show you the look, and I'll tell you my, I guess, first impression thoughts on this palette. And this is the finished look. I really like how this turned out, and I also forgot how much I love this color. This is Lady Camellia's from Udensai. It's one of the cream lip stains. I forgot how beautiful this is. I put it on and I was like, wow, I need to wear this more often. It is so pretty. It goes perfectly with this look. I love how it's like matching. So that is how I finished off. I also did some, Jesus Christ, I can never find anything, can I? I used some eyeliner, of course. This is from Colorpop. It's in the shade Call Me. It's kind of like a brown with a reddish tint to it, and I felt like it would kind of tie into my crease. And then for my blush, I obviously used one from Udensai. I can't get enough of these. This is Sweet Peach, and again, I feel like the tones kind of like tied it together. And I also went with a pink highlighter, which of course is from Bitterlace Beauty, because it is like the only ones that I ever use, and this is in the shade Cupcake Crush. Why did I take it out when I already knew the name of it? I don't know, it's just a habit by now. Let's talk a little bit about the palette though. I think that so far the quality is really, really nice. I had a really good time working with this. I think that the color story is just, it's really fun. I like it. It's a neutral palette with a twist, and I think that the names and the idea behind the brand is right up my alley, but I do wish that they would do a little bit more with the packaging. I feel like this is, like, I don't want all of their palettes to just say the name of the brand on the outside. You know what I mean? Like, I want more. Like, that is, I feel like with how saturated the makeup market is right now and how many brands are coming out with super unique color stories and palettes. Let's just talk about the one that I was using yesterday. This is the one from Lois Cosmetics. Lois Cosmetics. It's the Meet Me in the Underworld palette. And I kind of feel like these two brands have, or at least this palette, they kind of have like the same vibe, if you know what I mean. Like color story wise and just like, I don't know, the theming of the palette. I just wish that they would do a little bit more with this. I want something else on the front. I want the whole story. I don't want just the story to be on the inside. I want the story to be on the outside as well. But that is just me. But I think this is a really good place to start. I think that they did a really good job curating this color story, and I'm excited to see what they do in the future. I hope they come out with something maybe a little bit more colorful, maybe a little bit more, I mean, this is grungy, but you know what I mean? Like something kind of goth inspired, and I don't know, I'm just excited. So that's basically going to be my thoughts. I really like this look and I'm excited to be wearing it tonight. So yeah, thank you so much for watching as always. If you want to see some other first impression videos, here's my playlist. And if you're new, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.